YouTube, welcome to my channel, Taylor Talks Tales. Today I'm going to be doing the Booktube Newbie Tag. A little bit different of a video than I've been doing, which has mostly been book reviews and a couple book hauls from the library. But because I'm new, and because I've seen other new booktubers do this tag, I wanted to do it as well. I think it'd be a good way to introduce myself properly and to see, if you guys, are interested in following my channel, that kind of stuff. So, and I will be periodically checking my phone just to stay in order with the questions. So, let's begin. Okay, why did you start this channel? So, I started this channel for a couple different reasons. First one is that I've always been really interested in the booktube community for like going back 10, 11 years. When I was in high school, I used to follow book reviews. And then my freshman year of college, I ended up making my own channel, and I made 4 videos. I uploaded 4 videos. One was a book haul, and then there were 3 book reviews. And I really enjoyed it. I couldn't keep up with it, though, because college life. I also had a really, really awful webcam, and I just didn't have the technology or the stamina or anything like that to keep going with it. So I ended up deleting the channel. But I continued to follow reviews and booktubers and all this stuff, and I was there to see like some people start out very small and then blow up to be just huge popular booktubers, and that was like really cool. Not trying to sound like a hipster, just watching how people progressed, and I really value people's opinions on books, and once I find a person who I'm like, yeah, you have similar taste in me, and trust that person, it's a really cool feeling. And I ended up, the reason that this leads into the second reason why I'm starting now is a few weeks ago I went through a devastating breakup. It was so awful. My ex-boyfriend, he was the person who was like basically my best friend, and he and I really bonded over books in particular. Just stories. We like books, movies, podcasts. He wasn't as big of a movie fan, but we still would really talk about stories, and we had such similar tastes, like almost identical. He liked a little bit more high fantasy, I liked a little bit more thriller sci-fi, but ultimately it was something that we talked about a lot, and he was the only person in my life who read nearly as much as me and wanted to talk about books, and we just, chances are, if he liked a book, I would like the book, and vice versa. And, once we had the breakup, I had this void all of a sudden. Like, I was still reading, but there was just nobody to talk to about it. And that made the ache even worse, because I lost my lover, and I lost my best friend in one. And that was my book companion, that was my story companion, that was the person that I confided into everything, really. And so I decided, you know what if I try making a video where I can still talk about the book and see how that makes me feel. So I tried it, and it actually did help. It alleviated the ache a little bit. It didn't completely fill the void, because, there's a difference between talking with your significant other and to a camera. But at the same time, that excitement came back, and that idea of, well, what if I can meet other people who can fill that void that I have right now? So, long story short, I decided to just make a couple videos. I didn't upload them right away, but then I decided a couple days ago, you know what? Let's just do it. I know they aren't super edited yet, and they aren't the best quality, but you gotta start somewhere. So, ultimately, I was like, boom. Alright, question number 2. What are some fun and unique things you can bring to Booktube? Well, I think I can bring the fact that I am a pretty well-rounded reader. I've read classics, I've read horror, thriller, sci-fi, fantasy, romance, young adult, new adult, middle grade, just a wide variety of different stories. I also am a big movie fan too, so even though I'm going to primarily focus on books on this channel, I can still bring some movies to the channel and sort of have that little bit of a background. And because I'm an aspiring author, currently working on my own book, I can sort of have a more sort of have that take on books as well. And I think for the most part I try to be pretty fair. I'm staying true to my own opinions, but I also respect others, and I try not to like trash talk books that much. I do a little bit, can't help it, but I'm not going to just, I try to be fairly objective. So I think I'll be able to bring that to Booktube. Alright, question 3. What are you most excited for about this new channel? Ooh, definitely meeting people, making connections, being able to talk about something I love and not feel like I'm boring people, because you guys have the choice to click on my videos as opposed to people in my life where I really want to get onto talking about a book, but they kind of tune me out or just don't really care, but they don't want to hurt my feelings. So I definitely want to just have that audience, and then in turn I want to meet people so I can watch your videos, because I'm very much wanting to be connected and have that community, because I haven't really had that before. So very excited about that. Alright, question 4. Why do you love reading? So for me, reading is almost like breathing. It's just such a natural thing. I just can't imagine not reading. And it just makes me feel very fulfilled. When I read, I feel healthier. I feel like my brain is processing things better. Brings me joy. I think I really enjoy getting, to know characters and the visuals and stories. I love something that's really well written and just you have these images in your brain and it's beautiful. And I like thinking about things because I'm an introvert, so I don't really talk a whole lot sometimes, but I'm always thinking about things. And so, yeah, there's just so much. And I love exploring new worlds and just possibilities, and learning something in a book and then being able to apply it to your own life is really great. So definitely a huge reader. Alright, what book or series got you into reading? There are 2 books I'm going to mention, or well, one's a treasury and one's a series. First is Harry Potter. My mom bought Sorcerer's Stone when I was 6. It was the summer before 1st grade, and she started reading it to me, and I fell in love. And then she bought the second book, Chamber of Secrets. And then my dad had actually started reading a couple chapters to me, but I thought he was going too slow because I was really wanting to get into it. And then I just picked it up, and then boom, just took off, and I've been a big reader ever since, because I moved from that to, I think Prisoner of Azkaban might have been, yeah, I think Prisoner of Azkaban like came out, and I had it, and then when that was done, I just started reading anything else. Anything with magic or wizards or fantasy or anything like that, I was just reading, and I was a voracious reader and just couldn't get enough. It was great. So that started that. And then Scary Stories to Tell in the Dark, that treasury, like those 3 books, I read them also in early elementary school, and that was my introduction to horror, and I loved it. I got really creeped out, freaked me out, and I realized that I actually really enjoyed that sensation. Oh man, those images, the paintings creeped me out so bad, but I loved it. So since then, that kind of introduced me into the love of that genre. So yeah, I would definitely credit those 2. There are others, but those are the 2 I can really pin down. What questions would you ask your favorite booktubers? Honestly, I'm always bad about asking people questions. I never ask the right questions. I would probably just be curious about how to balance work-life and YouTube, and balancing between getting reading done and getting a video done. Because already I've noticed, because I've been working on making YouTube videos, I haven't been reading as quickly because it takes a while to film the video, upload it, all that stuff. And I do plan on getting into editing my videos, so that's also going to be, take some time. So probably ask them that. And yeah, I guess it really would depend on the booktuber, but I have so many favorite booktubers that I haven't really been able to pin down which one. I'll get back to that one. What challenges do you think starting a booktube channel will be the hardest to overcome? I think mainly just I'm a bit, I'm not a tech-savvy person, let's just say that. I'm kind of like a grandma. Any kind of techie thing that involves a computer, I'm really not that good at. When it comes to like practical things, when you're working with your hands, or like puzzles or anything like that, or like writing, I feel like I'm good. But when it comes to anything on the computer, I'm like, what is this? Not as bad as a boomer, but close. It's really awful. Like, if you see me trying to use Excel, it is painful. It is really bad. I have brought millennial, I'm not a right good millennial. I have brought shame to myself and my generation. But anyway, so I think that, because I do plan on editing my videos, the videos I've been uploading right now haven't been edited, but I still just wanted to get them out there, and just see what kind of response I would get. But definitely that, and also, going forward, trying to grow the channel a little bit. Like right now, I'm not too concerned about getting tons of followers. I'd rather, connect with people and have, meaningful relationships as opposed to 10,000 people. I definitely would like to have a bigger channel, but, I want to have the balance. I don't want to, I want to keep this fun. I don't want it to be stressful or have too much pressure. So I think those are the challenges I'm just thinking about. When did you start reading? Kindergarten. My parents had been reading to me before then, so I basically had a love of stories since before I can remember, because they were very, very big on reading to me as a kid. But I actually learned how to read like end of pre-K, beginning of kindergarten. Where do you read? Answers: everywhere. I read in bed, I read here, I read there, I read everywhere. I read at the gym, I'll read at the grocery store. Well, not very often, but if I'm like waiting for something. Weight rooms, just anywhere, really. I think the places I tend to read the most are at my house, at the library, or like on the couch, but anywhere really. I've even read outside, on camping trips, boating trips, just anywhere. And then what kind of books do you like to read? So I like to read all kinds. I'm very open-minded, especially if people are really passionate about a book and they want me to read it. I will most likely read it. My favorite genres are definitely, I really like genre fiction, horror, thrillers, sci-fi. Been getting more into high fantasy, because for most of the time I like Portal and urban fantasy, but my ex had introduced me to a couple of really good high fantasies, including Brandon Sanderson's books, so I want to get back into that. I do also really like a good YA contemporary read, especially when it deals with big major issues such as, drug abuse or finding yourself or overcoming mental health issues. I do like those. I do occasionally read romance, although I've made a video on this page that is going to detail why I'm not currently reading romance, just because it's too soon for me. And then, yeah, I pretty much am open to most things. I tend to read more fiction than nonfiction. If a nonfiction grabs my attention, I'm definitely on it, but this is pretty much going to be, it's Taylor Talks Tales, so it's going to be fiction, and it's going to be, mostly books with some movies and maybe a few podcasts, because it's, just the love of story is really what this channel is about. So that's pretty much it. I hope this wasn't too long and boring for you. It was fun to make it and fun to talk about it. And yeah, let me know if you end up starting your own channel. Tag me in it, and I would love to watch your Booktube Newbie Tag. So thank you so much. Leave a comment, rate, subscribe. Would love that very much. Happy reading and have a great day.